Students, good afternoon. Is everyone clearly understood my voice or clearly hear my voice? Friends, please give your feedback. Can you able to see the screen? Students, can you all hear my voice? Okay, thank you. Today we are going to see about the new chapter of commercial banking. Under this chapter, there are some of the chapter outlines. First one is what is commercial bank and the involves commercial banks. The functions of commercial bank. Under the function of commercial bank, we are going to see here primary function and secondary function and agency function also there. So we are going to see today that three things also. And credit creation by commercial banks, and finally important of commercial banking economics. Why commercial bank was important to our economy or our country. This is the main thing we are going to see here. Okay. The learning outcomes are understanding the concept of commercial banks and explain the aim of the commercial banks and analyzing the function of commercial bank. Among the function, we are going to see the three functions, primary, secondary, and finally agency function. And fourth one is illustrate the credit creation of commercial bank. And finally, you can investigate the importance of commercial bank in the economy of our nation. Okay. Now, my question is, what is commercial bank? Can anyone tell? Do you know and do you familiar with the commercial banks in nowadays? You are going to the bank and do some transaction or get some service from them. So, my question is, what is commercial bank? Can anyone? Country. What is commercial bank? Country. Yes.
Doing
Yeah, tell.
commercial yeah,
I didn't
commercial
understand. Commercial bank කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? What is commercial bank?
doing commercial like supporting
Some examples. What things are doing in commercial banks?
giving loans and
Loans.
And
Deposits, phoning service. No?
yeah,
There are some of the
Yeah.
service the commercial banks are providing, but that is not a definition for the commercial bank. Commercial bank definition is different. I'll tell the commercial bank is a financial institution. It is a financial institution or entity that is authorized by law to receive money from business and individuals and lend money to them. They receive the money from the business parties as well as the individual parties and lend the money, or that money should revised as a debt or credit to another, that same persons. For the businessman or individuals, that the thing is happening in the financial institution that called as a commercial bank. That is the main thing, the authorized by law. Without authorizing by law, any entity cannot receive the money from the business and the individuals and lend the money to them also. Students, please give me a 1 minute time. Sorry for the inconvenience. Now I'm conducting the lectures, continuing the lectures. Okay, commercial bank is a financial institution. Without financial institution and without any authorizing by the law, the any entity or any firm cannot bring or receive money from the business and the individuals and lend the money to them also. This process cannot happen without any financial institution and also the authorized. The commercial banks only they are having the financial institution power as well as the authorized by the law to receiving money from businessmen and individuals as well as lending money to them. Commercial banks are open to reserve the public, individuals and institutions, some other institution and businessmen. So all the people, these type of people, public going to the commercial banks, individuals going to the commercial bank, institutions, some of the institutions called as, for example, chartered institution, WAT institution, or some institutions are available. Those institutions also going to lending the money and receiving the money, receive their money through the commercial bank, and whereas a business also going up. For each and every people, the commercial bank is available for those people. Another thing, banks are regulated by the central bank. Normally, at your A level in the business studies, I think you learn central bank divide the bank by two categories: licensed specialized bank and licensed commercialized bank. For the licensed specialized bank, we can call as a NSB, RDB, Lankaputra. Some of the examples are there. Licensed specialized bank, commercialized bank, for example, People's Bank, Bank of Ceylon, Ceylon Bank, Sampath, NTB, NSB. We can call that all. That, for example, that banks are suitable for the licensed commercialized bank. So, for the both licensed commercialized and licensed specialized bank, for the two banks are under controlling in the central bank. So banks are regulated by central and state laws depending on how they are organized and the service they provide. Without any regulation by the laws or any procedure, the bank cannot process in a correct manner, or bank cannot organize or provide their service in the correct manner without any regulation of the laws. Every bank systems are happening under the law. Without law, they cannot function. So commercial banks are also monitored through the central bank system. Now I am told that one central bank divides the two banking system. One of the licensed specialized bank and another one is a licensed commercialized bank. Now we are going to see about what is commercial bank and commercial bank function also. We are going to see in this session. Okay, a commercial bank is a financial institution. Again, the definition is wrote here, that provides various financial service. For the various financial service, we can call as deposit service, saving service, or lending service, owning service. These are the financial service, such as accepting deposit and issuing loans, we can tell. Commercial bank customers can take advantage of a range of investment products that commercial bank offer, like saving accounts and certified of deposit. The loans commercial banks issue any vary from business and auto loans to mortgage. Some of the commercial bank, they provide a different categories loans to the public or to the businessman or to the entity or institution. No, so these are the attractive loans to catch the customers. That is a bank strategy. So commercialized bank providing deposit, not only providing the deposit service, they provide lending loans to the another people. In addition to these activities, commercial banks, not only commercial bank providing deposit service as well as a loan service, as well as additional service are there, banks offers a wide variety of financial service, including checking accounts, credit and debit card service also they provide, and saving accounts. So commercial banks are owned by stakeholders and function for the purpose of generating profit. So each and every commercial bank, they are having the purpose to generating profit. So these are the profitable entities or institution. Commercial banks are profitable entity because that their purpose is generating the profit among the economy or nation. So what are the aims having in commercial bank? The key aims of the commercial bank is to make a profit. First thing is, make a profit is the main aim for the commercial bank. For its shareholders giving loan, through the loan, they get the profit. How they get the profit? Profit borrowing the interest rate from the loan persons who got the loans from those persons. They are paying additional payment of interest rate for the loan. Through that interest rate, the commercial banks are gaining the profit to the country or nation or economy. So first aim is make a profit or generating profit. Second one, every commercial bank, they should provide the equal liquidity. Balance the liquidity conflict with the key aim of making profit. Not only they are not focusing on the creating the profit, but also they have to balance the liquidity. If there is any issue in the liquidity, bank will go on the losses. Bank will go down. Liquidity, how we are create the liquidity in the commercial banks? Providing the more deposit or getting more deposit, they can they can balance the liquidity. Otherwise, low performance of deposit are having in the bank, there are some errors in the liquidity issue. Bank have no money. Without no money, bank cannot function. So each and every bank, they are not focusing in providing loans to get the profit, but also they are making more deposit to create or balance the liquidity. Through the loan, issuing loan, they can create the profit. But how they balance the liquidity? Through getting the deposit. Providing through providing loan, they can generate the profit, and through accept the deposit, they can balance the liquidity. So banks have ensured that they can meet their customers' request to withdraw money from their accounts. To this, bank should keep a certain amount of liquid assets, and bank earn most of the interest by leaving long-term loans. However, if they tie up all their money in such loans, they would not be able to pay out cash to the customers requesting it. If there is no money, if there is having some liquidity issues in the bank, Once you go to the bank and you have to request to withdraw some of the particular money, the bank will not pay money to the customers because the bank having the liquidity issue. There's some tie up among the bank. So every bank's aim is maintain the profit and also balance the liquidity. They have to balance profitability and liquidity is the main aim among the commercial bank. You have to understand about these two concepts. One is providing, balancing the liquidity. Another one is generating the profit. How generating the profit? Through providing the loans or giving loans to the customers. How balance the liquidity? They have to maintain or increasing the level of deposits. Another one is function of the commercial bank. There are some of the functions. This question is mostly asking your examination also. First thing is capital formation. Second one is credit creation. Third one is a trading function, growth of entrepreneurship, fund transfer, as well as wealth creation. These are some of the functions. First, we are going to see what is capital formation. Commercial banks promote saving and investments which help to eliminate the capital deficiency. They then put these resources to provide use to boosting capital formation in the country. How they are creating the capital among the nation, which is commercial bank promote their saving and investment. Without promote the saving and investment, the commercial bank could not boost their capital formation. So capital is created by the saving and the investment. Backing capital is how they are create the capital through getting the saving and getting the investment. Through that two concept only they can boost the capital formation. And the credit creation. What is the credit? It is apart from the capital formation. It is the against part of the capital form. Increasing the money circulation, bank deposits also make their way to industry to help them to create positive assets. It's this credit as a multiplier effect on the economy. So the money is going to the circulation process. Once you are going to deposited your money for a 50,000, the 50,000 is not holded at each and every time. The 50,000 is going to the outside also. Once you are going go and deposit the money, the another person come and they get a loan from that 50,000 rupees. So the 50,000 rupees is not hold it at the one place. It have to go into the circulation process. Through the circulation process, that called as a credit creation. Are going to deposit the money of 50,000. Another person come and ask 25,000 for the withdrawal purpose. From that 50,000, the 25,000 also go to the withdrawal process. And someone is come and ask for the loan for 25,000. So that 25,000 is going from the 50,000. So that is the thing of circulation of money. Through the circulation, it creates the multiplier effect in the economy. That called as a credit creation. Third thing is that someone microphone is unmuted. No, this disturb to others. So please, student come 46. Please mute your mic. Okay. Trading function. What is trading function mean? Commercial banks are permitted to operate as marketers for municipal, government, and corporate bonds. Banks can provide issues with counseling, advisory, some technical direction through their market marking activities. So trading function is it is based on some commercial banks or all of the commercial bank they providing some counseling process, advisory process to the small and medium in a level of enterprises. Those are some people do the small and medium business for that candidates for that person. They are providing some adversary thing. They are providing some technical direction, how to do the farming, how to do the paddy. Some helps are provided by the commercial bank. That is called as a trading function. The third trade under the trading function, there is a counseling process there, adversary process there, as well as the technical direction process also there. Fourth thing is growth of entrepreneurship. By providing capital to the entrepreneurs, there are some of most of the people are nowadays doing a business. They are willing to do the own business. So from that business, they cannot having a capital in their hand. So they go to the commercial bank and they are getting the loan through the commercial bank and develop their business or entrepreneurships. So for the growth to the entrepreneurship, they providing the loans and investing in the productive process. Bank encourage self-sufficiency, reduce joblessness, and promote the right industry. Once they give a loan to the entrepreneur, they are reduce the unemployment in the economy also. So the another main function of the commercial bank is growth of entrepreneur. It helps to the entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs in our nation or economy. Another thing is finalizing of service. Commercial banks are safe place to save money in the form of deposit. We are not think to deposit frightened to deposit the money in the commercial bank. Without any frighten, we can smoothly or flexibly hold our deposit at the commercial bank. So financializing of savings is the another function of commercial bank. Another one is fund transferring with the help of commercial banks sending fund to anywhere within the country or abroad has become very easy. So they provide the funds for the non NGOs or some other countries or some other entities or some other institutions, UNO, for example, SEFTA, NEFTA, they are providing fund transfer to the another country or among the country. That is also another function. Finally, wealth creation by providing counseling and advisory. These counseling and advisory things mostly called as a wealth creation. Because of some of the one entrepreneur gone to the wrong path, the commercial bank will help to that person how to make your product or how to make your service in the particular market. They can provide for the counseling or advisory to the particular man or particular businessman or particular investors or particular entrepreneurs. Banks experts can direct the investor to mutual fund or direct investment. The bank can operate as custodian for all investment securities and provide safety deposit boxes. There are some of the lockers also have it. We are keep our jewels or keep our monies or keep our gold biscuits at the deposit box. What is deposit box? It's called as a locker. That is a wealth creation. Letter of credit for the investment opportunities, as well as letter of credit means there's once the person is doing the export or import activities. For that purpose only, letter of credit is the main document for that transaction, for the international transaction. So they are providing that thing all in the that thing also in the economy. So wealth creation is the must function the commercial bank provide to the people of country. Now we are going to see the function is derived by three categories. One is the primary function. I already said in the introduction part. First one is the primary function. Second one is secondary function. And finally is the agency function. What is primary function is accepting the deposit. The commercial bank accept the deposit in from the current saving or saving or fixed deposit. Currently demand deposit, another name is demand deposit. Saving is saving deposit. Fixed can called as a time deposit. It collects the surplus balance of the individual. Once you are gaining money from the income or yield, through the yield, there are some of the part going to the purchasing. Balance of the purchase going to save in the bank. So that balance called as a surplus of balance of the individual income of firms of finance that temporary needs of commercial transaction. So that balance of excess going to deposited in the current account or saving account or fixed deposit that is needed for the particular person. Whatever account they have to going to deposit the money, they can deposit the money in the particular accounts. So here, what is current deposit? You well known about this current deposit because the person who are doing the business or who are doing to build to transact very security purpose, they are create or they are open the current account deposit. So the current account deposit, they are mostly use the document of check. Check is the very big element or very security element in the current account deposit or demand deposit. Such deposit are payable on demand and are therefore called demand deposit. These can be withdrawn by the depositors any number of times depending upon the bank balance of account. But fixed deposit, it is a different thing. Once you following the current deposit, they will provide the check to you. But you are going to maintain the fixed deposit or time deposit. They give a certificate evidence for you that these deposits have a fixed period of maturity. There are some maturity periods are there. Sometimes we can save in the 3 months or 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, 2 year can able to hold our money at the particular period at the particular interest rate. So period of maturity are referred to as time deposit. These deposits for the fixed term period of time ranging from a few days to few years. These are neither payable on demand nor they enjoy check facilities. Here there is no check facilities. Here the low security. We can't transact the money, cannot transact the money each and every day because there is a fixed term period is there. We are holding the deposit. So we cannot, every time we can't to transact the money through the fixed deposit. But current account we can. Saving account we can. Each and every time we transfer the money from one account to another account. But fixed deposit, it is the fixed term. Cannot take the money at any time. Once you want to take a money for the emergency purpose, you have to pay some penalty before the maturity. You have to going to reduce my money from the bank. You have to pay some penalty to the bank. Saving account who maintains main objective is to save. Saving account is most suitable for individual householders. Each and everyone you are nowadays holding saving accounts at your hand. They combine the features of both current account and fixed deposit. They are payable on demand and also withdrawable by check. Another thing, giving loans and advantages. The second major function under the primary function, first is deposit function and second thing is giving loan and advance. So here, second major function of a commercial bank is to give loans and advance, particularly to the businessmen and entrepreneurs, and thereby earn interest. This is the main source of income of the bank. How the bank is gain the profit? Students tell how the bank is going to get the profit. Com 37. Please tell how the bank is gain the profit. Commercial banks. How they gain the income. Form 37. Are you there or not? MS 45. Do you know how the banks are gaining the income or profit? Giving loans. Yeah, Com 3. Good. Through giving loans, they only get the profit or income. Why other people are very silent, I don't know. Without any introduction, can't to take the lectures, no? We are not in a physical, no? We are in the Zoom. We are Zoom, you have to talk, no? Otherwise, how to take the lectures, students? Thank you, Form 3. Thank you for your answer. Okay, so without providing the loans, banks cannot get income or get profit. The banks keep a certain portion of the deposit with itself as reserve and lend the balance to the borrowers as loan and advance in the form of cash credit, demand loan, short-term loans, overdraft also we can call as a loan. Explain under the loan there is a cash credit is there, demand loans also there, long-term loans also there, short-term loans also there, and finally some overdraft. That overdraft it's not come under the loan, it is come under the current deposit. Once the person is holding the current deposit, they can only make a overdraft loan among the bank. Without holding the current account, we cannot ask overdraft at the commercial bank. What is we are going to see about these elements of cash. What is cash credit, demand loans, short-term loans, and overdraft loans? Cash credit means an eligible borrower is first sanctioned and credit limit, and within that limit, he is allowed to withdraw a certain amount of given security. The credit limit is there for the cash credit, that is a 50,000 or 80,000. That is the limit. Under the limit, only we can get the credit through the bank, certain amount on a given security. We have to give a security or guarantee for that particular cash credit. That is a limit of amount. The withdrawing power depends upon the borrower's current assets, the stock statement of which is submitted by him. Once you go to ask about the cash credit, you have to show your securities. There is some current fixed assets. Current assets means some you have to show your fixed assets like a land or house. You have to show that thing for the security. Then only you get the cash credit. The stock statement. Sometimes you have to maintain the business. You have to show your stock statement for the bank to borrow the cash credit. Without showing these security things, you cannot get this one. Here, for the cash credit also, interest rate was charged by the bank on the drawn or utilized proportion of the credit. Whatever amount you are asking from the bank, they are charge some percentage of interest for the cash credit. You have to show your security also here. Demand loan means loan which can be recalled on demand loan. There is no stated maturity. The entire loan amount is paid in lump sum by crediting to the loan account for the borrower. Once you get the loan from the bank, at a one time you have to settle, or at a lump sum time, at a one time you have to pay the money and settle the all of the loan. That is called as a demand loan. For the long term loan, you can short amount you can pay. You can pay by small amount. But here demand deposit you have to pay it in lump sum by one settlement is a major thing. Those like security brokers who credit needs fluctuate generally. Take such loan on personal security and financial assets. Here also you have to show your personal security things or financial assets to the bank. Short-term loans are given against some security, personal loans to finance working capital or priority sector advance. The entire amount repaid either in one installment or in number of installment over the particular period. Short-term loan means amount including below the 1 year, not more than the 1 year. These loans are called as short-term loans. Here also you have to pay your money by installment. One installment or number of installment you can pay. Here also interest rate is available. Uh, Here also interest rate is available. Okay. Another one is the investment. Commercial bank invest their surplus fund in three types of security. I already told once the commercial bank getting the surplus of fund or once they get the profit, earn profit, they are also invest that profit into somewhere, some other entity. One is they can fund to the government securities or other approved securities, as well as bank earn interest on these some securities, some called as a bond. They can invest the money in the bond or they can invest the money in the treasury bills. They can once they get the surplus of fund or surplus of profit. Otherwise, they are invest the money at the government securities. How the investments are, commercial bank investments are going, where they are going. And now we are going to see about the secondary function. Under the secondary function, discounting bills of exchange or bundles and the overdraft facilities, the secondary function. But the first primary function is we will see one is providing loans and creating the deposit. That is the two things in the primary. But secondary, discounting bills of exchange and overdraft facilities. What is discounting bills of exchange or bundles? Bills of exchange represented the promise. Exchange means represent a promise. I am promised to pay a fixed amount of money at a specific point of in a future. It can also be encased earlier through discounting process of commercial bank. Alternately, bills of exchange for is a particular or good example for here. Through the bills of exchange is a document acknowledged an amount of money on in consideration of goods will be received. So this is the bill of exchange mean I am promised to pay about this particular amount, fixed amount of money at a specific point at the time in future. That is the for that purpose the discounting bill of exchange document is used for the promise to pay for the fixed amount for someone. So that function is the secondary function. Another function is the overdraft facilities. Overdraft facilities I already told. Once the person is maintaining the current account, only they can get the overdraft facility. You are for a person. The Kamal is maintain the current accounts in the particular people's bank. I take the commercial bank as a people bank. That people bank, he go to the manager and conduct the manager. Through the manager, they can get the overdraft. Without knowing the manager, we cannot get the overdraft easily. First, we have to, the first impression is the manager is well known about the particular person. Once the sometimes mostly overdraft is getting by the businessman from the particular area. The businessman is doing the business in a particular area. The businessman always going to the one of the particular commercial bank. For example, we take as a People's Bank. He doing Colombo City, Colombo 1, no, Colombo 9. There is a famous bank, take as a People's Bank. They are every time they are going and deposit the money and lending their loans and withdraw the money in the particular bank. So the manager well known about the particular businessman. So they easily give the overdraft for the particular man. Through the overdraft, there is not a huge amount. Sometimes it's based on the particular individual person needs. They can provide the loans, but among the 50 days, 15 days, we have to resolve that loan to the bank. Otherwise, we cannot pay the loans to the or pay the loan to the, pay the overdraft to the bank. The bank will charge the penalty and also the interest to the particular individual. So very clear to settle the loan overdraft among the 15 days. That is the main concern. Difference between overdraft and loan. Overdraft is a short-term loan, but the loan is long-term. Short-term means 15 days we have to pay the loan. In the case of loan, the borrower has to pay interest rate on full amount, but the long-term loan, they have to pay the interest rate at the installment basis. Here we have to pay the full amount at one time, but there they have to pay the installment, pay the interest by the installment. For the overdraft, we have to pay the interest per day. We are calculating, the bank will calculating the overdraft interest per day. But for the loan, they calculate the interest rate by the month. So these are the content is different for those two elements of overdraft and loan. There's a three difference. One is overdraft is once maintain the current account. Without maintain the current account, you cannot get the overdraft. But loan, it's no needed to maintain the current account. Another thing, once the overdraft interest rate is calculated by a particular day, each and every day, but the loans, long-term loans, having calculate the interest by monthly, and we have to settle the money or payment for the long-term loan by the installment basis. For the overdraft, we can pay the money at one-time settlement among the 15 days. So this is a short-term loan, that is a long-term loan. And the main thing is overdraft is not without made by security. You cannot show the can't show the security. It's not the issue. Without having the security, you can get the overdraft through the manager by your trust. The manager having trust with you, they definitely give a loan to you. But in long-term loan, we have to show the securities for the bank. Agency function. This is the third function. The bank acts as an agent. Agent is the intermediate for the two parties. Agency means a bank has function as the intermediate or negotiator among the two people or two parties. The bank acts as an agent of its customers and gets commission for performing agency. Once you know the brokers, for example, we can take a brokers. The brokers get the income from the two parties. From the A party also they get the income, and from the B party also they get the income because they are doing the agency function. Likewise, the bank are performing. So here, first one is transfer for fund. I already told about this transfer fund at the function as the commercial bank. For the transfer fund, the bank function as the agency. It provide a facility of cheap and easy remittance funds from place to place through demand draft, mail transfer, telegraph transfer. For this, the bank charge the agency commission payment from the two parties. Collection of funds. Once they transfer the fund, also they get the commission, and also collect the fund, also they get the commission. It's collect the fund through the checks, bills, bundles, demand draft. Through these also they get the commission. Payment for various time. It's make a payment for tax. Sometimes the tax, once your salary is going to the bank, each and every month the bank pay the your salary to the government or England Revenue Department. So bank function for you as the tax office. For the tax office, you have to go and pay your amount, but the bank work for you as a intermediator for the tax department. So the payment for various items is tax, paying insurance, or paying electric bill, telecom bills. For that, they receiving some commission from your one. Purchasing and sales of shares and securities. Once the commercial banks purchase the shares and sell the shares, they are getting the commission. For the safe custody securities, they are safely moving the securities or stocks or shares among the people. So for that, they are collecting the commission from the two parties. Collection of dividends. You know about the dividend. Interest rate on shares and debentures, it's made on behalf of its customer. So bank worked as a function as the agency behalf of the customer. Sometimes the bank acts the trustee and the executor of property of its customer on advice for its customer. So that's a thing, a normal thing, well known. For the property, they are provide the trustee as a bank for the particular customer. That is called also the agency function. He worked as a intermediator for the two parties with these seven through these seven functions. They are performing a agency. Now we are going to see performing general utility service. The banks provide many general utility services. For some of there is here travelers checks, locker facilities. Some of the facilities are more than the loan and credit function, deposit facilities. It's performing the general utility services. Some of the services, credit card services, we can call those also. So what are the services additionally banks provide? One is traveler checks. The bank issue travelers check and gift checks for the customer. And locker facilities, we are keep our jewels, so very important document locker. So for the safety custody, the bank give the locker facility to the people. And underwriting security issued by the government, public or private bodies. So underwriting security also another service. And finally, the purchase and sale of foreign exchange. You can go to the bank and change the dollar as a rupees. You can change the rupees to dollars. So these are the another performing general utility services are provided by the commercial banks. Now here, credit money or credit creation by commercial bank. Total deposit of the bank is of two types. One is primary deposit and the secondary deposit. Primary deposit called as the initial cash deposit by the public, but secondary deposit is that raised due to the loans given by the banks, which are assumed to be redeposit in the bank. Normally, here how the credit is creating in the bank, the procedure is two types. Once you are normally getting the income, from the income you are some of the part is going to the purchase, balance of the part or surplus of the part is deposit or invested in the bank, that is called as a primary deposit. Once the secondary deposit is the people who are getting the loan and get the loan At the COVID period, most of the person did this activities. They get the loan and they deposit the money at the fixed deposit. So see, once the loan interest rate is lower than the fixed deposit interest rate, so they are getting the profit from the bank. So that is the secondary way deposit. That is the thing of secondary deposit. Through these two types, the bank create the credit creation. Money creation by commercial bank is determined by the two factors, primary deposit and legal reserve ratio. You already learned this reserve ratio, minimum ratio of deposit, which is legally compulsory for the commercial bank to keep as a cash in liquidity form. So the particular amount, each and every bank, they are holding the money as a liquidity form. Without having any liquidity, the bank will go to shutdown point. That is called as a legal reserve ratio. Excess reserve also go to the central bank. Last class we learned that one. Okay. Broadly, when a bank receives cash deposit from the public, it keeps a fraction of deposit as cash reserve, LRR, and use the remaining amount of given loan. In the process of lending money, banks are able to create credit through the secondary deposit at many times more than initial deposit. Here, money supplied by the commercial bank is called credit money. Commercial bank create credit by advancing loans and purchasing securities. Through advancing loans and purchasing securities, the commercial bank create the credit money. Suppose, for example, suppose you deposit 10,000 in the bank A, which is the primary deposit. This is the first deposit of the bank. The cash reserve requirement of the central bank is 10%. So from the 10,000, the 10% go to the central bank. That's called as a reserve ratio. So a bank A would keep 100,000 as a say reserve with save in the central bank. We already learned. The balance of 9,000 for lending purpose. So through that 9,000, the bank give the lending loan to the another customer. A bank lends 9,000 to Mr. X by opening an account, his name known as a demand deposit account. He create the 9,000 and open in a current account. However, it is not actually paid out to Mr. X. The bank has issued checkbook to Mr. X to withdraw the money. So now Mr. X writes a check to 9,000 in favor of Mr. Y. So to settle his earlier debt. Through the 10,000, the 10% go to the central bank. The balance of 9,000 is going to lending process. For the lending, Mr. X is go and lend the money of 9,000. For that 9,000 is deposit on, normally the bank not give the loan at your hand. They have to transfer the loan amount at your current account or saving account. Then only you can borrow the money from the account. You don't think once you apply for the 5 million or 20 million, the first thing the bank have to deposit the money to your account. Then only you can get the money, or fully or partly. So here the thing is the excess go and apply for the 9,000 loan. The bank is deposit the money at the demand deposit current account. Then he write a check for the current account and withdraw the money, and he pay the money to the another one, Mr. X, to settle the earlier debt. The check is now deposited by the name of Mr. Y at the bank B. So earlier I told these functions, these things happen in the bank A. Now the Mr. Y is deposit the money at the bank B. Suppose the each cash reserve requirement of central bank of B holding is 5%, but the A bank hold the reserve ratio is 10%. So here from the 9,000, we have to pay 450 will keep as a remain balance at the central bank. So balance of the amount 8,550 rupees has lending process by the bank fee. And then C have to come and C get the money from 8,550. Then C can pay the debt for the someone, and the someone can pay the money to the another bank. Likewise, the credit circulation is processed to the each and every bank and each and every individual. Did you all understand this process? This example? If you are not understand, please tell. I'll again explain this thing. I think you can see through this table, you can easily understand. Primary deposit is 10,000 by A. Primary deposit is 10,000 by A. So that 10,000 have to pay the 10 percentage for the central bank. So 1,000 is gone. So balance is 9,000. The balance 9,000 will take as a loan by X, and they settle the money to the B. So B go and deposit the money to the B bank. So B maintain the reserve as a 5%. From the 9,000, 5% means 450. Our balance of the 450, 8,550 is available at the bank to get the loan. So someone is come and take a loan. C is come and take a loan from the bank. B from C from 8,550. From that, they are they maintain the reserve of some percentage. Here, I think 10%. So balance of the 10%, 7,695. That has go to the again another procedure of back end. So likewise, the process is going to get the 50,000 of the new deposit, and the demand deposit is 10,000 at the central bank, and the borrowing deposit is gone as a 40,000. Once it's the amount is go to the zero, until go to zero, we have to do this process. Once we once we get the total of these new primary deposit at the end, we can get the 50,000, and the demand deposit for the reserve of central bank, we can get the 10,000, and finally we can borrow the deposit from the loan called as 40,000. This is a small calculation how to create the credit creation or commercial bank doing. The process of credit creation, total credit creation equal to original deposit into, we can easily calculate without doing this table, huge table, we can use the multiplier of credit multiplier coefficient. So credit multiplier coefficient equal by 1 over R. So R is cash reserve ratio. Through this example, you can understand this is the requirement also called as a cash reserve ratio, that called as CRR. Credit multiplier coefficient is 1 over 10 percentage. CRR is 10 percentage. 10 means 0.1. So your total credit creation is 10,000 for the 10, 10 for the 10,000 deposit. So that create the 1,100 for here. If the CRR is changed to 10 to 5 percentage, the credit multiplier coefficient is 1 over 5 percentage. So that means 1 over 0.05. That is equal to 20. Once the basic deposit is 10,000, it's multiplied by the 20. So you can get 200,000 for the credit creation. So once without doing this table, you can do the credit creation for the 10,000 by the use of total credit creation equation. That is original deposit into multiplied by the credit multiplier coefficient. The credit multiplier coefficient equal to 1 over R. R means cash reserve ratio. That will be given at the examination, and primary deposit also given for the examination. And you have to find the total credit creation is how much through this equation. Did everyone understood? Okay. Okay. Process of money credit creation. Suppose a man say X deposit X 2000 with the bank and the LRR is 10%, which means the bank keeps only minimum requirements 200 at the cash. That means LRR, legal reserve ratio. That should be mostly bank maintain to hold their liquidity. Without maintaining this thing from the deposit, they cannot have the liquidity. So bank will go to shutdown point. So they are very keen to maintain the legal reserve ratio. So the bank can use remaining the amount from 1800. How the 1800 is came from the deposit, they are calculate the LRR. That means 10 percentage. So that is equal to 200. So the 1800 for given in loan to someone. The bank lend rupees 1800 to say why who is actually not given loan but only demand deposit account is open in his name and amount is created on his account. So this is the first round of credit creation from the secondary deposit of 1800, which equals to 90% because 10% go to the LRR. So primary initial deposit, again 10% of Y deposit, rupees 180. It's kept by the bank cash reserve ratio and the balance of rupees 620. From the 1800, we are again calculate the 10%. That's again to go to the Z. Likewise, from the balance amount, we again go calculate the 10%. Likewise, here also, we can found the credit creation at the deposit of X 2000 rupees. The 10% will deducted from the each and every element. One first time from the 2000, we deducted 200. We get the 1800 is the first credit creation. After that, that 1800 go to the demand deposit and the deposited. Then the bank provide the loan. From that 1800, they cut the 10% for the LRR. So the amount is 180. After the 180 gone, from the balance 1620, here there's some mistake. Here we have to you have to write 1620. Among the 1620, you again calculate the 10 percentage and deduct and get the amount. That is the credit creation happening among the bank. Okay, here some of the objectives are there for the commercial banks to establish as an institution for the maximizing profit and conduct overall economic activities. The main objective the commercial bank is function and to collect the saving or ideal money from the public at a lower rate of interest rate and lending these public to money at the highest rate of interest rate. These are the objective for the bank, commercial bank. First one is gaining the maximum profit, and second thing is accepting the saving or deposit at the low amount and lending the loans at the high rate of interest. And third one is create prosperity of savings amount at the people. So for the prosperity of saving amount people, the each and every bank capture the each and every people. You well known. Once I take a people's bank, I have an experience with work as a people's bank. That's why I'm telling here for the birth baby until the birth baby to dead people also they are covering the account for the birth baby for once they go to the school until that they are providing the saving for isudana or something. Then once they go to the school to they have to get a major. Until that they are maintaining the Sisudana, Isurudana, Sisudana. After that they have to come as the 18 plus. They have to provide the yes account for the youngest major people. Then sometimes they capture the ladies. They are providing the Vanita Vasana. So and they are capturing the pension people. They are having in some of the account called as a Parinatha. So the objective of the commercial bank is credit propensity of serving amongst the people. They have to capture the each and every people. And finally, to motivate the people to invest the money with the view to bring solvency in them. These are the objectives of the commercial banks, as well as credit money against money as an alternative, enhancing supply of money, build up the capital through serving, advance the investment, extend the service to the customers, as well as maintaining economic stability at the market, and extend the cooperation and advice to the government. Because we already see about the commercial banks provide the counseling and agents, counseling and advisory to the governments as well as the entrepreneur. So this is also one of the objectives to assist the government for the trade and business and socio-economic development also another objective. Importance of the commercial bank in the economy. What are the function and aims? Why the commercial bank is important? Without commercial bank, we cannot do any transaction among the world. So commercial bank also called as a joint stock bank or retail. We can call it as a retail processing. Or another thing, another name is high street bank. So all four names tell us something about them. Commercial bank indicate that they are business organization which seek to make a profit. Joint stock. First thing, the joint stock means that they have limited liability. They have a liability, but the liability should be limited and in a private sector. So not only all banks are government sector, each and every bank, once we take a People's Bank or BOC, those are also semi-bank, not a fully government bank. We cannot take like that. There are some private investors also there among the People's Bank as well as the BOC. So stock means that they have limited liabilities and are in the private sector. And another name, in most countries, the major of banks are public limited. I told the thing, but there's usually number of banks are private limited. Among the public limited, there are a huge amount of private limiters is having that. Why we are calling banks are semi-government, not only fully government. That's the term of joint stock for the commercial bank. Another term we are using retail. Why we are calling the commercial bank as a retail? It suggests that they are selling the public to something in case of bank service. They are providing service, some retail service to us. So that's why we are calling as a retail. And finally, High Street tells us that these banks are found in most of the towns and cities. So each and everywhere we can nowadays easily found a commercial bank. Each and every areas they open the, or we can say open the branches and develop their banking facilities and services to the consumers or customers. So that is called as high street tells. They are the bank we are most familiar with the people. So these are some of the names which is similar for the commercial bank. One is joint stock also we can call, and otherwise we can call as a retail, and another one we can call as high street sales. Okay, capital accumulation or formation. We already see this term, what is capital formation. Capital formation reserved to increase in the extension of stock of capital goods in the economy. So commercial bank remove capital deficiency by encouraging saving and investment through the saving earlier for the among the under the function of commercial bank, we see the capital formation. So formation or we can call as accumulation. Accumulation means it's a creation. So how the commercial bank create the capital accumulation through the encouraging service, savings and investment. What is mobilization of savings? So some of the banks, they develop the bank in their countries, they are providing some mobilization saving. Sometimes they provide their vehicle and park the vehicle under the someone somewhere in the commercialized area and they promote their service. That is called as a mobilization service. Sometimes you see that our university, in front of the university also some bus, so some vehicles come and wait there, and they are creating some providing some service to the customers or service to the students. So that is called mobilizing of saving. And availability of fund. Poor population has poor resource for the economic development in the poor countries. The activities like invention, that innovation, research and development and initiative are impossible due to insufficient of funds in these countries. So bank remove this deficiency of capital by providing different types of fund that lend to economic development. For the poor country, poor nation, they are providing some availability of fund to that country. We already see from the function of commercial bank. One of the function is providing fund to the among the our country or otherwise for the abroad countries to uplift their countries to develop their economy. We are the commercial bank are providing some availability of funds for them. Attaining self-sufficiency, a major problem faced by the developing country. We are developing country. USA, America, or UK also developed. China, Russia developed country. We are Sri Lanka is a developing country. For this developing country, they are facing is the burden of foreign debts and depend on their other countries. Nowadays, our debt also very high because we are getting loan from IMF, Bangladesh, Pakistan, China. We are get the all debts from the whole country. No one country is missing among the nations. So commercial banks provide an initiative for the entrepreneurs to take risk and to use ideal resource for more and better production. Without production, we are going to lend the money from the another country, and that money gain has increased the debt of the country. So it is a bad condition or situation happening at the nation. So we have to increase our reduce our unemployment. So how we can reduce the unemployment? The commercial bank, they are providing the self-sufficiency for the entrepreneurs. So once they provide the loans to the entrepreneurs and encourage them and boost them to provide the employment to the particular area. So once the new entrepreneurs came to the particular area, they provide the vacancy for some people. Through that some people they are earning some money and influencing or they are develop their self or their family. So the commercial bank is attaining its self sufficient for the particular person, so that particular person get the money and he developed it in the country, and he reduced the unemployment and he increased the income. So then our country is gone to the developing procedure because our production is getting very higher than the earlier stage. Better for the better production, the commercial bank gives some ideal resource ideas to the entrepreneurs, and they encourage to take risk to the entrepreneurs for getting the develop to make as our country is developed. Implementation of modern technology. Economic development without using an advanced and most of without any technology process, our economy is cannot moderate or modern. It is impossible. Almost in the economy sectors, backward techniques and productions are used due to the poverty in third world countries. So commercial banks provide more funds to the people and make it possible to do the modern techniques of the production. They're providing loans to introduce the modern techniques in the firms or entity and increase the through the increasing the modern technology, they are increasing the production level and decreasing the cost. Once the manual person is producing the product, it is get the high cost. Once the manual production changed as the industrial production or modern technology production, so that time the cost of production is reduced and save the time also. So implementation of modern technology also the another function provided by the commercial bank. Development is the agriculture sector. So all the region having the economy they are very very depend on the agriculture sector. Once the country having a poor development in the agriculture sector, that is a very bad situation at the nation. We have to wait for the product of agriculture from the another country. So the once the another country is importing the goods, agriculture goods into our country, we have to pay money and taxes also. So we are getting burdened to pay amount without we are having a dollar in our hand. We have to lend the money from the lend the money or get a loan from the another country. From the another country, we get the money. We have to pay interest also. So see, once the agriculture sector without having a development in the nation, it is a very bad situation. So the each and every bank, commercial bank, they encourage the farmers or some paddy persons to boost their agriculture sectors among the nation, to develop the rural and agriculture sector among the country. Developing the industrial sector also. Not only the agriculture, the commercial bank is worked as a backbone or act as a backbone for the economy to make a rich nation. It is provided support to the industrial sector. What are the industrial sector at our nation? The agriculture development is linked to the industrial development. The industrial development linked to the service development. There are GDP called as including agriculture plus industrial plus service. For the three section or three production or three sectors, the commercial banks give a big support to them to boost the economy development or growth rate. And expansion of the market also. Sometimes the commercial bank help to the expansion. Sometimes the market is very small. They cannot expand the market because having a lack of money. They think so. They go and take a loan and increasing the market or develop the market or grow the market through the economic commercial bank loans. They help to formation to sound economy infrastructure also they provide. So living standard it is again rising and to expand the trade and commerce of a economy. Commercial bank goes the development of industrial as well as the agriculture sector according to their expansion in the market that result in the economic development. So the each and every commercial bank is play as a backbone to develop the economy at our nation. Some commercial bank they do research at the economy and they develop that poor poor areas in the economy or back back down area in the economy to uplift the that particular area. So commercial banks sometimes provide finance. Finance means amount of money for the research and development, which leads to invention and it creates the innovation thing. So various institutions in Pakistan are operating by the loans provided by the banks. Modern techniques are established and these are applied at the economy in the research institution. Once we do the research, we can get the research problem. What is the problem happening in the particular area? Through that, find the problem, we can resolve the problem. For the resolve the problem, we have to innovate some invention. We have to create new ideas. So that that through that new idea, we can develop the economy easily. So this is also another function provided by the commercial bank. And some another thing is essential for the foreign trade. Commercial banks are very, very essential for the foreign trade, called as the import and the export. Today, international trade. Without international trade, we cannot get things frequently because we are not producing all of the things at our nation. Because with lack of resource, we cannot produce the whole things at the nation. So we are depending on the another country. Once we produce the rice, which is that is lack or that is very rare for our people to fulfill the old demand. So we want there's a supply is very low rather than the demand. So once we fulfill the demand, we have to depend on the another country. So without commercial bank, we cannot do the foreign trade. So Today, international trade without involving banks, it's very difficult. International trade is necessary of economy. So commercial banks are helpful in increasing the international trade through the following way. First thing is provision for the credit fund facility, low rate of interest for the exporters, and opening letter. I told earlier, letter of credit is included as a very major document in the foreign trade arrangement of foreign exchange. We have to change our currency. So for these four processes are very important at the foreign trade. For that foreign trade, this whole process are happening through the commercial bank. The commercial bank help to increase the international trade through these following ways. And commercial banks provide very help for the government. How the commercial bank help to the government is removing the budget deficit. What is budget deficit? How we are create the budget from the revenue of the country deducted by the cost of the country. Revenue of the country, how we are calculate through the tax and other activities. We are getting some charges. So that is the revenue of the country. So what are the cost of the country? We are paying salary to the each and every people. That is the one of the costs. We are investing money at the industrial, at the airport, at the bridges, at the highways. So that is also one of the costs. So once we minus deduct the revenue from the cost, the revenue is lower than the cost, which is called as a deficit problem. There is a cost is higher level compare with the revenue. So nowadays the government has to face budget deficit. All of the country I know don't know, but in Sri Lanka we are facing the budget deficit because it increasing of expenditure and falling of revenue, which means the revenue is very poor than the expenditure. In this situation, the government has depend to upon deficit financing to meet the budget deficit. So to cover the gap between the expenditure and the revenue, the government borrows from the bank. So through the banks, government borrow the money as a credit and lend the money, and they make some arrangements for reduce the budget deficit. As a result of development process can be started through the borrowing money from the banks. And finally, optim utilization of resource. Commercial bank help in just and optim allocation of resource. So, some mega projects cannot be started due to the lack of capital. So, commercial bank provide loans to start the mega projects, huge projects, and remove the problem of deficiency of capital. Here, optim utilization of resource mean lack of finance. Once we are willing to start the business or huge amount of project, but we are having the money in our hand, the commercial bank help to us to optim the utilization of the resource of finance. Due to this use of resource in economy, there is an increase in of production. Once we get the income of increase and we reduce the unemployment and the lifestyle also increasing. Once the lifestyle is increases, the economic development was increased. Okay, these are the function we are seeing through this commercial bank. Did anyone have any doubt among these particular functions about the commercial bank? How commercial bank create money, or any functions doubt? Whatever you can ask, I will explain. This is the time for you. So students, please ask question to me and clear your doubts. Otherwise, I didn't upload the slides at the LMS. Once you are always very keeping silent, I didn't upload any stuff in your LMS. So please talk with me and clear your doubts. students, give your feedback quickly. Once you understand, at least use the chat box also. If you have any doubts, you can raise the question at the chat box. Otherwise, I can't wind the lectures. Anyways, thank you, students. Shall we see at our next session on, I think, on Wednesday, 1:30 p.m.